Every year, members and allies of the LGBTQ community participate in Pride Month during June, an opportunity for individuals to celebrate their identity and commemorate the Stonewall riots in New York City, which are widely accepted as the kickstart of the LGBTQ rights movement. This year marks the 51st anniversary of the riots in the Stonewall Inn. However, this year's celebration is different. Since March, the country has been under stay-at-home and social distancing orders as a result of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Since late May, there have been a series of protests in support of the Black Lives Matter movement following the murder of the 46-year-old Black man George Floyd. And now, the US government has taken actions impacting LGBTQ healthcare policies and workplace discrimination, severely affecting the lives of millions of individuals across the country. Given the intersection of these social and political issues in the heart of Pride Month, we begin to ask, what is Pride? To answer this question, we sat down with current university students and discussed their thoughts on the issue.
I attach so much to Pride. I remember going to my first Pride celebration with my best friend, and it kind of just reminded me of, it kind of reminded me of coming home.
For me, Pride Month, I think, is really a time to come together and support one another and our identities.
I grew up in Southeast Virginia in a rural town. So being queer and also being part of the Black Baptist Church, it was really looked down upon and just not accepted in its entirety. But as my senior year approached and I finished out my senior year and came to college, it became something that was liberating to me and something that I could find joy within.
This Pride Month, I think, has been definitely much different than in the past. Without the regular availability of things like Pride marches or just Pride celebrations you can go to with your friends, where there's a huge festival-like setting.
I've just been practicing a lot of self-care and being accepting of my identity and being especially gentle with that, because it's been hard a lot of the time accepting that part of me. So I think this Pride I've been really mindful of how I treat myself and how I treat others around me.
For me, it's not really celebrating, but I guess more educating myself, I guess, because I still have so much to learn. Even though I am a part of the community, I have much to learn.
I think now more than ever, it is important to recognize that Pride Month is only a possibility due to most marginalized members of the LGBTQ community, particularly Black trans women.
I think that having Pride Month during such a tumultuous moment in history, I feel like it solidifies what Pride Month is about.
It's almost like a catalyst to shed light upon these further issues that encourages people to really take a step back and look at their own selves and provide introspection and find the own faults within one's own actions.
I feel like Black rights and LGBTQ rights go hand in hand. And I feel that shows a lot this month, especially because it's all happening all together.
Celebrating this Pride Month in 2020 by advocating on behalf of or in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement is really a celebration of Pride in its most original form.
There are so many bail funds. There's so many organizations that need funding.
My friend and I made a resource list to where you can support trans women of color, and I was thinking about how I can use my art to support the cause. So I've been doing commissions supporting a lot of organizations in the Black Lives Matter movement and Black and queer organizations.
Listening to people, that's the biggest thing. I've seen a lot of people speaking constantly for other people, and I think sometimes people speak when what they really need to do is listen first.
I've been having actually a lot of conversations with my friends, but also my family. As an Indian American myself, there is a lot of anti-Blackness in our community, and it's very much thrown under the rug, not really talked about. And the same idea actually goes for LGBTQ issues.
I've been celebrating a lot by trying to educate myself and become better individually and personally about acting in allyship with the different subsets of the queer community that experience different forms of marginalizations and oppressions than I do.
Find some literature, do the research yourself. Don't ask your Black friends, your queer friends to do the work for you. because it's so much more rewarding when you are learning by yourself and focusing on growing than having somebody give it to you. And frankly, it's not the job of people to explain their identities to you.
Leave social media sometimes. Like, you don't always have to be on top of the news. It's okay to take a break. It's hard to see so many triggering videos when you feel that your identity is just being attacked online. And so taking a break definitely is really important.
I want people to take care of themselves and, find that community, a safe space wherever you are.
It is really difficult to kind of find joy during this moment. And I think it's so important for queer people, specifically queer people of color, to kind of find joy in the midst of a really trying time.
I think this whole revolution is a mix of high and lows, that we're trying to get more rights, but sometimes we are going back, and it's not necessarily our fault, but I guess it's just that the fight continues, the fight persists.
Find whatever it takes within you or without in the world to really find joy within this Pride Month and be proud.
Be mindful of yourself and surround yourself with people who are actually allies and who are not just there to be a performative ally, who is not just there because it's hype right now or it's trending. Surround yourself with people who fully are supporting you and your identity.
Recognize that we're all in this together, and this can't just be a certain group of people fighting for this justice. Everyone has to get behind it.
If you're queer, however you identify within the queer community, I love you so much, and I hope you have a happy Pride Month, and that's pretty much all I have to say.